So becoming a science diver was probably one of the best decisions I made of my undergrad because it gave me so many different kinds of opportunities that I've applied in so many different ways now that I just wanted to touch on in this video because it just keeps kind of popping up now of why it was really valuable to take this course. And I'm not even really integrated into the academia world anymore, which is where I originally thought it was going to be really valuable. But yeah, now it's become still extremely useful. So I wanted to talk all about the AAUS, or American Association of, let's check what, American Academy of Underwater Sciences, always mix that up, the American Academy of Underwater Sciences Science Diving Certification. That's what we're going to be talking about today, why you should take it, and why it can be really valuable for you. So anyway, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name's Eli. I've had so many life changes in the past few months, but I'm a scuba instructor, and I am now the staff at the Whale Shark Oceanic Research Center, which is so exciting. If you have been watching my channel, this is actually news to you if you haven't seen my social media, but I'm so excited. I just got elected as the Marine Conservation staff at the Whale Shark Oceanic Research Center. I'm going to be conducting their internship program and also helping a lot with the diving. I'm going to be getting to dive 4 days a week, teaching people in and out of the water. So excited, and also getting to do research underwater. It's going to be a crazy cool adventure. If you're interested, I guess follow on this channel or follow me on social media. But anyway, I'm talking way too much about myself. You came here to talk about science diving, and that's what we're gonna get back to. So what even is a science diver? What am I talking about? So an AAUS science diver, this is relevant to the United States, although I'm sure there's other programs in other parts of the world. An AAUS science diver is basically a person that can conduct research underwater. So this is a certification that's extremely valuable if you are looking to become a marine biologist and are really wanting to do research underwater. At universities in the United States, you often cannot conduct research if you don't have this certification. At my university specifically, you can't do research unless you are an AAUS science diver. And this is kind of the standard across the board in all universities, in the United States at least. And this is because the science diver course teaches you how to safely and efficiently conduct research underwater, which is extremely important if you are trying to do marine research. So some reasons why you should become a science diver. So first of all, once you become a science diver, it's a very rare certification, and it's a really, really important one because at a lot of universities, you can't conduct research without it. So if you have that certification, you've now become extremely competitive for jobs that are requiring this certification. So if there are specific labs that do research underwater, they can't do, many of them can't do research without 2 science divers. You can't even just have one, you need to have 2 science divers. So once you have that certification, you now have the opportunity to actually apply for those jobs, which a very small pool of people are applying to. You can also do more things with your research if you were already doing research or if you were just getting started. Now you can do research out of the water like you could do before. You can do it around water, but you can also go deeper and go longer underwater and do observations yourself on whatever you're studying. So you can stay way longer in the same data sites that you were previously using, but now you can go deeper and stay longer yourself, which is valuable for many, many reasons. If you didn't have a science diving certification and you wanted to collect research with your university, then you can, but you're going to be limited to surface level types of research activities like snorkeling, like fishing at the surface, or data management or data monitoring, data collection at the surface, like on a boat. So you're also going to look a lot more credible. So once you get the certification of science diving, it's a very intensive training process to become a science diver. So the people that actually go out of their way to become one are obviously very dedicated. It's going to, a lot of people in the research world and a lot of people that know of this certification or are looking for people that have it know what it's like. At my university, my course was 4 months long. It was very intensive, and I think I got 30 research dives during that entire process, and I did so many rescue scenarios. There's so much that you learn throughout that process, and there's so much experience that you gain through it. People know that, and they know that you are really capable of handling yourself. Woo, little bug. They know that you're really capable of handling yourself underwater, and also much more capable of handling research than the average person because you've gone through this training. So professors that you may want to work with are going to be more likely to want to work with you because they're going to know that you're more capable in the water, and they're also going to know that you take this seriously. Not just anyone dedicates to this course. So another really cool benefit of becoming a science diver is that you can also be invited on other types of research trips. So at my university specifically, I think there were about 30 science divers, and there were a few different research labs. And for each research lab, there were people that were always trying to go out and conduct their own independent research. And oftentimes they would just simply need a buddy. And for universities, you have to have 2 science divers. You can't just have one. So they would always need a buddy. So oftentimes, if you're in that pool of 30 science divers, then you will likely get asked to join on other research trips. And this can be really cool to just gain experience with other kinds of research and just gain the experience of some really cool different kinds of things. Another really big benefit of becoming a science diver is that if you love to dive recreationally, which if you're becoming a science diver, you probably do, this is going to help you become such a safer recreational diver. As a science diver, you literally go through the most intense training. If it's similar to how my training was conducted, very intense training. I did, I think, the rescue course maybe 6-7 times over with so many different kinds of rescue scenarios. And I had so much confidence underwater to look out for myself and look out for other people. And I felt a lot more capable of conducting safe dives in general afterwards. So how to actually become a science diver. So if you've made it this far in this video, maybe you're interested in actually becoming a science diver. So if you are interested in becoming an AAUS science diver, you need to get certified through an accredited program in the United States. So I'm going to link below all of the programs that are listed on the AAUS website. But go ahead and scroll through that if you're interested to go find a certification program near you. So you usually need to actually apply and get accepted to the program because there's often limited space for these courses. They're often very long, and they're often very intensive and with limited class sizes. For my class in particular, it was a 4-month course with, I think, there was 9 of us, and that was about where the dive safety officer liked to cap it, just right around that number. And I was only admitted to my course because I was conducting an undergraduate thesis that was going to need that certification to actually conduct it. It was kind of unusual for an undergrad to get accepted into this course. Most often it's master's and PhD students using it for their theses or their theses or their independent research or to help out their professor. But I was allowed into the program and I was admitted to it because I was using it for my undergrad thesis. But yeah, just something to think about is that not necessarily every single person can apply to these programs. A lot of times they want to know that you're going to do something really valuable with it. And oftentimes they will definitely prefer people that either attend their research facility or their university. So some of the costs associated with this program, so they can cost upwards of $1,000 or more. or they can be a bit less. The price kind of can vary a lot. At my university, it was interesting because our program was actually sponsored. So I'm not even sure how exactly it was sponsored, but the price was brought down to only about $400 or $500. And this is also a reason why it was really competitive, and not everyone was admitted to the program, because the university actually sponsored people to participate in this program and pay for some of the costs related to it. So if you are really interested in applying to one of these programs, but the cost is really a big barrier to you, then I highly recommend checking out some of these scholarships I'm going to mention. The first one is the Our World Underwater Scholarship Society internship, the science diving internship. It is an amazing experience. You definitely should check it out. Also extremely competitive, but worth a shot to apply to. I believe how it works is you, or at least the Dr. Lee H. Somers AAUS Science Diving internship, is you're sponsored to have the whole AAUS Science Diving internship, or the training to become an actual science diver, and then you get a little bit of opportunity to participate in some research diving. There's also the Mitchell Scientific Diving Research Internship. This is another Our World Underwater Scholarship Society. And this one is where you're going to actually need the science diving certification beforehand, but it provides you with an opportunity to actually do some science diving at a research facility. So again, those are really competitive scholarships, but extremely valuable and really, really cool experiences. Another scholarship, or a few scholarships that you should definitely check out also, are with the Women Divers Hall of Fame. They have all kinds of scholarships and grants for women in science and women in ocean science, a lot that are for diving and for research, and there are so many of them that I'm not even going to go all the way through right now, but definitely have a look at those if you fall into that category, and that could potentially help you. So the lighting is absolutely terrible right now, but I'm editing and I just wanted to quickly put this in there, but I wanted to acknowledge that you don't actually have to be a woman to apply to the Women Divers Hall of Fame scholarships. Take a look at all of them, even if you're not. A lot of them say that they welcome all genders to apply to them. It's definitely targeted towards women, but just because you're not doesn't mean you don't have any chance of getting one. So definitely still check them out if you're interested. But anyway, back to the video. So before you actually start the science diving course, you need to at least be an open water diver. That's one of the only prerequisites for the science diving course. And the actual certification, so the certification includes 100 hours of training and 12 draining dives. So it's really intensive, but it's so rewarding afterwards, and you learn so much through the process. The reason why people have you do this course to do research underwater is because it is so involved and intensive. With 100 hours of training, you definitely come out of it far more capable than you were beforehand of conducting research underwater. You're also going to definitely need medical approval before starting a science diving course. You need this for any diving course, but that's going to be really important, and also a valid application form, so nothing that's going to invalidate the application. You're also going to need to pass a swim test and a breath hold. So coming out of the training, you're going to have 5 or more certifications. For my training specifically, I came out of it with Advanced, Rescue, Emergency First Response, O2 Administrator, Nitrox, and then obviously Science Diving as well. So 6 certifications came out of this course. That's why it can also end up being a little bit more expensive, is because you get so many certifications out of it, and why it can take a little bit longer. But all of those help you so much if you are intending to do some intense activities underwater, like research. And another thing about the doing a science diving course, they're usually about a semester long. So mine was about 4 months. It went from January to May. So Now you might be thinking, is it even worth it? Is it really worth it to become a science diver? It sounds really intense and expensive. Coming from my unique perspective, so it's really interesting because I was really into academia and I was pursuing PhD, and that's originally why I did this course. But now I'm in the conservation area, and most people don't need a science diving certification here. But if you are interested in doing marine science underwater, if you're really passionate about the scuba aspect of marine biology or ocean science in general, then definitely take this course. I think it can open up so many more opportunities for you that you wouldn't typically expect. It's opened up a few doors for me, and obviously the first one was during my undergrad. I was literally not capable of conducting my thesis without having the science diving certification. It gave my professor so much more trust in me, and she was the one that helped me get into the course. But once I completed it, I was able to do research with her. And I was also qualified to work as a research assistant, able to participate in any of the research happening in her lab after graduating, because I had this really valuable, unique certification. And I was able to do, almost anything in her lab, with proper training, of course, but I had this really expensive one and time-intensive certification that many people don't have. So she was so much more likely to hire me as a research assistant. She actually did offer me a position as a research assistant. After graduating, I wasn't able to take it because of COVID and I had to move home. But I did have that opportunity because I had a lot of rapport with her, but also because I was capable of doing many of her research activities because I was a science diver. Other benefits that have come of this that I didn't actually expect: I thought I was going to continue using this certification as I intended originally to, for science, research with universities. But after I graduated and I went to Utila, I became a dive master and then a scuba instructor, and then I applied to become staff at the Whale Shark Oceanic Research Center. And actually a huge kind of benefit along this process of dive master, scuba instructor, and now getting hired at this job was I had a lot of experience with leading dives and also with diver safety. That really ended up being a major benefit through all these courses because I was far more capable and confident underwater. Also, for this job in particular, being marine conservation staff at the Whale Shark Oceanic Research Center, we teach people how to do research underwater. And I never expected to use my science diving certification to be doing something like this now, but I am now getting to teach people a lot of what I learned in that science diving course in Honduras, which is really interesting. But I'm far more qualified to do that because I went through this 4-month intensive training. And it also looked really good on my resume to explain that I had these 6 certifications, that I did 100 hours of training, and that I learned how to do a few different types of research methodology underwater. And then I used it a few times afterwards, actually, for my thesis and a few other things. It made me look really, really good for this position that is really heavily focused on doing things underwater and teaching people underwater and having responsibility underwater. Having that science diving certification really helped prove and also enabled me to really exemplify that and show that underwater as well, because I'm far more capable and confident underwater now after doing that course. So anyway, this became a really long video and I'm sorry for just going and talking for so long, but anyway, I also wanted to mention I am now doing a lot more freelancing now, helping people with resumes and personal statements. Kind of unrelated to this, but if you're interested in applying to some of these scholarships that I mentioned or any science diving programs, I'd love to help you with your resume or personal statements. I started doing that a lot more this month and really excited to launch that again, but definitely hit me up below. I will link those below if you are interested. Otherwise, make sure to check out those links below for all the stuff I talked about today. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any other questions. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and again, thank you for watching.